Well, it's just about that time to find out if the Renegades are hanging out in the clouds or if the clouds will just be holding enough moisture to drown them out. That's right, we're going to Renegades versus Cloud9. We're going to be seeing them face off on 2 maps, Mirage and Cobble to be exact. And I think the sentiment was going into rehearsals today, a split? Is that fair to say?
I mean, C9's super strong on Mirage, and Renegades is well known to be Cobble's, like, that's their home map, right? So if you're going to give them any chance, it's going to be on Cobble. C9's basically been dumpster everyone on Mirage, so that would be my guess, but you never know, right? That's why you play the game.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think I love C9's Mirage. I think they take mid control really well. The default's super strong on that map. Stewie seems to like light up mid, and on Cobble, it's like one of their lesser played maps. I don't think they've been doing particularly well on it. So. They
did beat G2 at E-League on Cobble, but that was because of a lot of clutches. C9 went 5-0 on the clutch rounds on that map. But Tim kind of plays the same role on T-side on both maps, right? He's the guy who annoys drop and makes the plays, and then he also does the same thing in the middle of a map on Mirage, right? He does the window room and the top, like, whatever you call it, catwalk rail. So he's kind of like that guy, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, just a roster full of guys that can make plays when they need it. That is this Cloud9 lineup. We're going to load that up right now. Automatics, Skadoodle, Stewie 2K, Rush, and Tarek. Now, as if these guys need an introduction, but more importantly, since the roster change, it's been a while now, where does this team stand?
I wanted to ask you, where does Skadoodle stand in this lineup?
I think he's underutilized. I hate to see him throwing nades, but he kind of takes that role upon himself, right? Many people see him as this like turret opper who doesn't move, and like I can't stand when I hear a caster say that or somebody like type on Reddit about it, because it's not even correct. He has sicker movement than 99% of pro players. It's just that, you know, he kind of gets put in that position through either he doesn't tell people he wants to do something else. It's not that he can't do it. Like there's many clutches when you see him b-hopping and getting off and on top of boxes in a 1v4 and making it look seamless.
When has his back against the wall, like he is known to shine. Let's take a look at the Renegades lineup though, because that is who we're going to be squaring off in the server with. Azure, JQS, Ustillo, Nifty, Naf. We've talked about what Nifty brings to the table, having a sort of explosive potential. We do know that Naf also has the same sort of stuff going on here, and even you could really just look at the whole lineup and say it's very possible for any of these guys to come out and gun any day of the week. But when we look at this Renegades lineup, who really sticks out to you, Launders?
I really look to Naf as the new man on the team to have to really well round this lineup off, because I think that overall they're fairly strong. I think Ustillo's a little on and off, but I don't think he's a bad player. I think he does have really good performances sometimes, and I think that Nifty has just emerged as like a super strong opper in the region, and I feel like he's just like playing out of his mind as well as taking on the role of calling, and is extremely explosive.
Well, we're going into Mirage. That's going to be our first map up between these two teams. Is there a clear cut?
I think that I would say that Cloud9 win this 7 out of 10 times.
7 out of 10.
That's a good way of putting it.
Interesting.
Right? It's like they should win it most of the time, but at the same time, they can lose. I think it's going to be a great match, though, because both teams have the same amount of points in the standings, and they're both fighting for that playoff spot, which they're not in terms of... They're not in the top 6, right? So they should be hungry.
Well, they should be hungry, but only time will tell. And to deliver us that action, we've got Blue and the ever so awesome Jordan Nothing Gilbert. I guess, you know, Blue, you're awesome too. But anyway, take it away, guys.
Starting us off well here. So welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It is time for our second match. What's up? Oh, wait, hold on. I think you're...
Am I still? I'm stuck on coffee.
Yeah, you were muted there.
We couldn't hear my voice, ladies and gentlemen. I was just trying to show Blue a little love here, let him know that, you know, I got his back.
You got my back?
And we got your back right now going into this game, boys.
Yeah, absolutely. It should be getting started in just a moment here, and Cloud9 will be taking on the Renegades on Mirage.
So looks like we're jumping right into it, huh?
Yup. So some opening thoughts this matchup while we're waiting for the pistol round action to start. How do you feel this matchup here? Who's like the favorite to win this one? Just off the quick glance.
I think Cloud9 for sure. Cloud9 has a very dynamic Mirage. Renegades' only chance, I think, on the CT side here is to disrupt Cloud9's mid control. And I know Renegades actually has the ability to do that. I've seen him do it well before. But this first round looks like we're about to see one of C9's signature catwalk smokes, either side. And I'll let you take it from here.
As they move in, Ustilla will be waiting on the outside. He's got a flash to assist him, and it's 2 quick headshots. He will go down to Skadoodle moments later. And now as Cloud9 push back in, that will be site control for them, but they're not safe just yet. Azza spamming in, actually coming in from Cat there, is going to be able to take down Rush through the smoke. So Cloud9 not looking too good. They do get the plant, so they have the third round buy guaranteed at least, but now they have to hold in a 4v2 situation. Everyone from Renegades pushing back in quickly for the retake here, and Cloud9 are very quickly running out of space as well. Nifty comes into the flank. He's going to try to go for the knife, but Azza will steal that last kill away. Regardless, though, they control the opening round, and they'll take a 1-0 start.
Ustilla coming right there to just hold it on the balcony and get a 2K. I've been on this C9 team. I've ran that strat with them. One of the main problems here is if this balcony guy does this. So, you know, it's kind of hard to say C9 could have done much better. But good job by Renegades to get those 2 kills. And I was going to say on the retake, good job by Renegades also to kind of stay together. That guy who walked out the side door could have really got too aggressive and maybe given up that advantage. They held on tonight and started off to a nice 1-0 lead.
Yep, so then with that built up, we are going to see a pretty light bot round from Cloud9. They do upgrade, I think, just one of their pistols. Skadoodle's going to pick up the Deagle. Besides that, though, it is 5 smokes, so definitely looking for priority on this. Just getting the second plant here very quickly, and then if they lose the round from that point forward, it's not a big deal.
Yeah, when you get the bomb planted, you're generally going right for that third round buy. Look at these new models. Is that George Clooney or is that Skadoodle? I'm not sure, but either way, smoke's going to be thrown once the CT smokes are faded. So obviously, see right here, they don't want to have to come through smoke. There's no point. The situation's not going to change for them at all if they execute at 140 or 115. So we're going to see him release the smokes here in a second. Their goal here is to get a plant and maybe a frag, but Nifty here salivating as the T's come out.
And as they move in, he's got the corner ready to rip these guys to shreds. Gets 2 kills, does get traded by Rush, but JKS is also moving to a dominant position to find 2 more kills, and Azza will close in the last one. The main goal of the round is not successful for Cloud9. They don't even get close to finding that plant, so Renegades shut it down pretty easily.
Yeah, I mean, right there's not much else you could do on a map like Mirage except hope to get lucky, maybe killed somewhere. But all those smokes, as foolproof as they might seem for when you enter the bomb site, doesn't mean much if you can't get into the doorways to the bomb site.
Yeah.
So good job by Renegades there to play close setup and stop the play altogether.
So we do have the third round buy coming in from Cloud9. It's going to be very light on utility, though, because they don't get that second plant, and obviously because they didn't get a huge number of kills in these first couple of rounds either. That takes away most of their nades, so they're just going to have a basic amount of smokes and a couple flashbangs. They'll essentially just walk right in, and that means Naf is going to be ready. Takes the first kill, JKS finding a second. You'll remember that Renegades are still working with anti-eco weapons here, too. Rush so far has only been able to trade back the 1 kill, and that's the only kill Cloud9 has gotten. Now they'll move in, try to take a little bit more control. JKS has a great position right here. Automatic's going to sneak right around him here, but JKS able to dodge it. He gets the kill instead. Skadoodle spamming into the trip stack there. He's going to try to take him out, but Skadoodle runs out of ammo. It's actually even into a 2v2, but Tarek closing out on JKS now puts the odds back in Cloud9's favor. It's not going to stay that way for very long, though. Azzer moves in, gets the 1 kill. The nade going back, and that do damage to Tarek? Yes, knocks off about 1/3 of his HP. Now, Azzer's stuck here. He's still continuing the rampage against Tarek. Doesn't have him dead just yet, and he finally will escape down ramp.
I feel like this round could have went either way, Blue. Early entries, good play by C9 to just do a quick play because they don't have much utility here. But coming down to a 1v1 situation, I'm so surprised early in that round Tim didn't check triple after he killed that guy connector. He just know his team went down there. Either way, Azzer is playing the situation good so far. He knows he doesn't need to necessarily outplay Tarek and reposition too much. He did a little bit. That's just enough to, you know, kind of give himself an easy chance here. But Tarek, I actually like what he's doing here. When you play slow like this, the CT has to think now. Where is he coming from? In the way, the only chance Tarek's going to win is if he like maybe spots his barrel or something.
Does spot it, but unfortunately Azzer is going to be very much ready to take that challenge, even though he was looking up at Palace at the time. He even had that Molotov too, if Tarek had given away some kind of noise cue so he could block him off through that route. But still, the Renegades shut it down, and more importantly, they close it on the 1v1, so they'll take the first gun round, and they're off to a good start.
I like that by Azzer. It's really easy in those situations for people who are maybe not as high-level players to get insecure maybe about the 1v1. Where could this guy be? Could he flank? I'm ducked behind a box. And then they start moving around too much, and that's when you get caught off guard, and your HP factor goes out the window. So nice job by ZR.
Well, now we do have Cloud9 kind of creeping up very quickly over here towards the apartments. They will be smoked off by a quick one that was tossed in by the Renegades here, but it seems like they don't mind it too much as they're just on an eco round anyway. They quickly burst through, and actually the player at bench doesn't seem entirely ready to take this battle. A little bit clustered right now. However, he's still able to get that first kill. Almost shoots at his teammate there. The two of them working together are able to take down most of the initial burst of players that move out. Tarek finds one, and a second is actually picked up by Skadoodle, but besides that, it is still another shutdown from the Renegades.
Yeah, pretty straightforward approach so far. solid. These back pillars, these are your go-to spots on his anti-eco rounds because they give you the most coverage from those pistols. I think it's really great for teams to just kind of start here. I don't think you really need to jump up balcony and spot too much early round on these anti-ecos because it doesn't matter if you have that info. Everyone should be holding their spots across the map.
So now into another gun round, and this time with better utility for Cloud9 too. Fully bought up this time. We're still not going to see the op just coming in, or no, excuse me, we're not going to see the op coming in just yet, but we do have some aggression posted up here by Azza. Unfortunately, he's messed up though, but Ustillo is able to ring out along with Naf to trade those kills back in ringing fashion, already bringing Cloud9 down to just 2. They've also found 2 kills in their own though, so it's not entirely dominant for the Renegades just yet. JKS swinging out, misses the spray at first, but is able to correct it to find the kill onto Rush. And now, just Skadoodle left over here at Tetris. He hasn't been seen just yet, so he's going to try to play on that, but ultimately is still up against the 1v3. And that's going to be the biggest thing he'll have to work against here. Just tries to play it slow, hoping for a peek from JKS, and JKS inching closer to actually peeking it, but hasn't gone for it just yet. Skadoodle's now seen him, knows for certain that he's there, lines up the nice headshot. I don't think he's seen this guy tick it just yet, but he's not peeking either, so that is going to give Skadoodle free access to the site. You'll note, though, that Skadoodle has left the bomb way back over there in T-spawn from the initial setup that Cloud9 was trying to go for before. Now it just leaves him trying to essentially DM the 1v2 since he really isn't going to be able to run back and grab that bomb. Checking CT to make sure that's clear. Indeed, it's a success, but now what does he do? Because that bomb is still way back and he can't afford to give up the control. Lines up both those players, was very close to clutching it actually, but Ustillo, thankfully, does take the win again. Well,
they had no choice but to assume he had the bomb, but regardless of the 2 versus 1, which was played well by Renegades, they stuck together. The mid control, I actually talked about it as I was on the analyst desk before I came over and joined you. I told you that I think one of Renegade's best chances of disrupting Cloud9 is stopping that mid control and getting in their face. If Cloud9 gets room to work on this map, they're so vicious, as we saw them take out, you know, was it Nif at E-Leagues with ease on this map. So Cloud9's very good at playing the late round of this map if you give them map control. But going down early, this might have been the wrong time for them to choose to do the mid-aggression again, huh, Blue?
Yeah, it seems like it. They're trying to rally this back now. They have managed to bring it into a 3v3, but initially this was all Cloud9, just 2 clean kills for them up until that later point where we did see the aggressive pushes finally yielding some kills in the favor of the Renegades. And obviously, Renegades still have the gun advantage, so they get the better end of this, but Hazard now backing up on Cat, unfortunately gives himself away, and JKS committing to that spray, just leaves himself in the open for another shot from Skadoodle, as he's currently keeping Cloud9 in the match, bringing it down now to just Ustillo, who once again is going to have to clutch for his team. Now in a 1v3 situation if he wants to still keep Renegades flawless here. Pushes in, does spot Skadoodle there. He'll get tagged for half of his HP. Can spam through, completes the kill, quickly flashing out into jungle in order to clear this out as quickly as possible. He's making good work here, but he still needs to figure out what these last 2 players are hiding at. That's the biggest goal for him, and they're set up in a very nice way too, where second he dives down into the sandwich there, Tarek's going to spot him, take him out, and finally Cloud9 are on the board.
Yeah, I don't necessarily have a problem with the mid push. You see Fur do it a lot on SK, and it can be done properly. It's just that he's taking that wide contact. I think he at least did swung a little bit. And the problem there on anti-ecos is you just need to give him a second to pop flash out mid so that you can catch him off guard. He got a little premature at the peak. And then even at the end, I don't like Azure falling back off brick there. That was a little erratic. I feel like the main advantage they had in that situation, even though his HP was low, was the numbers. And I think sometimes it's a very easy thing to do when you have low HP to think you need to get away or play safe, but sometimes just not doing anything with that low HP is the best. Being in a very sneaky corner, playing a headshot spot. As they're falling back, they gave him the chance to even it up, and I think without that,
we're going to see some aggressive mid-control attempted here by Renegades, but it's not going to work out too well. 3 of their players die in attempting to do that, so now we just have the Cat player and the Connector player. Connector player is already dead too, so it's just Naf hiding in ladder room now. I'm pretty sure he's around here somewhere. They just haven't realized he's gone to ladder him yet. But they're going to know that in a second. And Stewie will spot it, taking him down and securing a second one for Cloud9.
Curious to see what Renegades are going to do this round. They do have the op. They don't have a lot of utility though on their other players then. So if I was them, I would like something to like, you know, maybe a double jungle set up in the Opera plays toll booth. You give up A. Or maybe Opera and a Rifler Connector, 1 in A site hiding. Those are good setups when you don't have a lot of utility. JKS is known to sit under that balk. But it looks like an A hit, Blue.
Yeah, just a straight up A hit too. Not even really going to be playing around too much. They have 1 guy going Palace, but besides that, it's all 4 ramp. And they're quickly.
What is this?
It's a boosted smoke. It should go over towards Ticket, right? He's going right back there. The CT's actually trying to push into this too. He missed this. JKS is going to be able to get 1 kill, but he loses now. So it's only a 1-for-1 trade. And he really is stuck in here. He can't fall back properly without risking his own life in the process. So he'll fall due to the next push from Tarek. They're taking him out, and Cloud9 will quickly swarm the site because, well, they just gave away 2 players in pushing out towards ramp. The Ticket guy falls back way towards CT. to get away from the initial push, and now actually he's managed to dodge out of the way of Automatic inside of the smoke. Nicely done. He almost had an opening there to kill Stewie too. This is that chance though, so he's going to have to be happy with just trading on a Nifty. Skadoodle now misses it, and we can see all of Renegades' remaining players at full HP. They each have a smoke to try and play with here too in order to get back into the sites. They actually have quite a bit to try and win this retake on, but Cloud9 are established in much more forward positions, but they're also lower in HP. Azur and Tarek will trade blows after he gets the first kill. Skadoodle now also swings out from the firebox. It just leaves Nifty alive, and he doesn't even want to make an attempt at it. He's falling back. He's going to save the op, and Cloud9 are able to hold the 3v3 to win their third round.
Yeah, actually pretty well played by Renegades. You know, it's a normal 3A smokes. They kind of traded kills. But when they had that advantage, it sucks that their smokes were kind of not complimentary of the retake. They did have 3 smokes and they had IHP. You know, this is all well and good. This is going to happen. Sometimes you're going to trade negatively here. But Renegades did even it up after Automatic push spawn. And that was their chance to retake it. But unfortunately, they weren't. But they do have that MVP, Blue.
They do have that, and now we're going to see if they can build upon that. It'll be after the pause, though, as Renegades are going to take one for themselves here, just to try and recenter their strategy a little bit. They've been falling pretty flat, actually, in a lot of these rounds, and even in that last round there where they had a pretty favorable situation, but just weren't able to close out. So they're going to take a moment to themselves and think about those things.
Is it 2 pauses per?
It's I believe it runs on the same rules as land play, so it's the 4 30-second pauses.
4 30-second pauses, correct. So. Yeah, not a bad idea, right? Even if they're not strategically coming up with something big, because C9 hasn't really done anything special. They've done mid control and they've done a couple direct A and B hits. So if anything, just to kind of break up the momentum, give the Mirage guys, give the Renegades guys a chance to talk, get back into it. Now we're right back into the action, so hopefully they've cleared some stuff up for themselves.
And looking at it, unfortunately, Renegades are not able to afford to put up a buy behind that up, so that is the only big gun they're going to have to play with in this round, and the pistol players are just going to have to try their best to support it. You're still also already getting hit for 80 HP. I think that damage came from Skadoodle, who was probably able to spam it through a wall or something like that.
Again, we're looking at Skadoodle's glasses there. Not sure if they're Ray-Ban or, Maui Jim.
I'm more impressed that you can shoot with those on.
Look at that. This is the most baller-looking sniper I've ever seen. He's got a white and orange rifle and hair.
There's also some very well-ironed jeans, too. You notice down the legs? There's no creases at all. It's just perfect jeans.
And he's, he's got a knife swinging off his leg. He's got a walkie-talkie there to communicate. Just overall style game on point. And, he's not too worried about much else in this upper B control.
He might not be able to frag just yet, but he looks good at least. So. So it's a slow start for Cloud9 here. Not even really taking a whole lot of control. It's a slow mid-crawl as they aren't able to get Stewie out from underpass. There's basically no resistance coming in from the Renegade side of things. So they'll be just they'll hold in the sights for the most part. I think they have one guy window room, but he's more so going to be focused on the jungle area than window, as window is obviously just going to be smoked out for most of this round leading up to the actual execute, which we should now see soon with only 30 seconds remaining in the round. Cloud9 also still have the bomb back outside of B hull, so they need to send someone to pick that up, which is what Rush is doing now. However,
this should be fine here with Stewie sneaking through. Cloud9's kind of just taking their time. Something's going to have to go terribly wrong. Like that kill could have maybe changed something, but I think Cloud9 should be able to take the site easily here. And unless something crazy happens, Nifty not going to be aware Tarek's already pushed up. And unless Yustilo does something unimaginable, and he's not going to.
Imagine if they didn't check that, though, and he was able to just peek out.
Yeah, even then, though, with the pistol, right, it's going to be hard to take down more than one.
But with I was going to say with the time being where it was at, if he kills the planter, they might not have been able to get someone else on it quickly enough there, and that would have been the key thing.
Oh, yeah. That would be pretty emo.
But they check it, so.
So Renegades just going to have enough money for Nifty to get that MVP in his hand, and I'm curious to see their approach here. Cloud9's not having much trouble taking mid-control aside from when Renegades pushed. And it might be that again, because I see 3 people going through the window, and Stewie going to get a free leg onto Naf there.
Naf's actually allowed to dive back away, and now 2 more players take position at Connector and Window. They're able to get 2 kills. Azur does actually end up going down, though, so it's a 2-for-1 trade, but still favors the Renegades for right now. And being able to do that, and more importantly, split up Cloud9, it sends them completely away from mid. It looks like they're just going to regroup over here near ramp at A.
3v4 here, but 3v3 after Rush is going to take down Naf, and at this point, if I'm Renegades, there's no reason to really play B. He can either push up B right now and fall back. There was 2 towards A, so now it's just a matter of how is JKS going to hold this A bomb site. He's a very good player at solo sites, but if Cloud9 does this right, he shouldn't be able to get more than 1.
And I believe he's tried to play Firebox before, too, so they might even just directly check that as soon as they go into the site here. One of the previous gun rounds, he did something similar.
I like Nifty taking a risk here because at this point in time, the Ts are most likely grouping at one of the extremities. Very unlikely that more than one would be coming from middle to either bomb site. And even so, number 7 over there, who is that? That is Ustillo at B. He's doing a great job, actually. I like that he's in upper B because he's now isolating it. If they do come up cat and plant, it's fine. He's crunched them. But looks like they're going to be going A.
Maybe everybody from Cloud9 sneaking in here now and trying to move towards a JKS. Sits over here towards Firebox. And they actually don't check him originally, but he's not able to get a kill. He does great damage. It's actually Nifty that gets the initial trade onto the site here and keeps it down to a 2v2. Cloud9 need to look for the plant very soon, though. They're running out of players to plant that bomb. It's now down to just Rush. He's got less than 10 seconds. He's been found out now, tries to plant. Didn't realize that Ustillo would come back in from Connector, and he's going to be the one that shuts it down and finally gives a round back to the Renegades just when Cloud9 were about to tie it up.
Jeez, and Justin Savage, you're not going to see JKS not get these kills too much, but at the same time, you know, if he didn't shoot, he probably would have gotten to between a rock and a hard place sometimes, or you want to call it between Firebox and a hard place over there. But either way, another round to Renegades, and a nifty smoke from Tim coming out of T-spawn.
And it makes it 2 right into the corner pocket there. So that'll smoke out window nice and early. And you can once again see the Renegades basically want nothing to do with mid at the start of the round anyway. They're not going to try to push aggressively out towards Connector this time, nor Cat for that matter. They do definitely have players waiting inside of those areas, but that's more so to stop Cloud9 when they transition from mid onto one of the sites. As they're just going to walk in and take free top mid control.
This is interesting process for me, and this is smart by Cloud9. I think a lot of teams might have slowed down their mid control because they see how much Renegades is pushing it. Cloud9 had decided to stay confident and go for that mid control, and Tim is staying confident and not letting Nifty hold an angle there.
So Nifty doesn't even look like Automatics peeked out of the way, but he's able to get the kill anyway. Nicely done, destroying Nifty. And now Renegade's already down to 4 here, and they're going to continue to make aggressive plays too. Rush's feet are spotted, but he just hops right out of there. Gets himself into a safer position, and JKS will not challenge that again. They did that before, and it did not go well, so it's not going to be worth it to attempt once more. Azur sneaks away with a kill in window room, but he's not going to get it for free. Stewie, in addition, gets another kill, but now we see the aggression come back in on the ramp there. That's when they strike. Tarek will be able to trade that kill back, so it's down to Ustillo in a 1v2. Renegade's trying to piece it together, but the trades from Cloud9 have been too strong, but Ustillo continuing to spam in despite being completely blind. He takes down Automatic, and now it's him versus Tarek for the clutch. Not going to happen, though. Tarek is able to maintain, and that once again puts Cloud9 within 1 round of the tie. And that's where Ustillo's playstyle kind of comes in to support him, because if he had waited behind that smoke, you never know where Tarek could have moved. This blind kill was really nice by Ustillo, and then to push up against Tarek. I think he actually has the jump. If you notice right here, his crosshair starts slightly above Tarek's head. Boom, right there. If he was actually a little bit lower with his pre-aim or maybe shot later, his crosshair would have gone, and that could have been a 6-4. But it's not. 7-4, actually.
7-4, correct. And it's now a 6-5 here. C9's doing another fast mid control. So with that already being under their control too, Rush is just going to feel a little bit more cautious since Renegades have been so aggressive, especially on these eco rounds here. So they'll look at to make sure that that does not happen again, or at least it doesn't happen successfully. Stewie, however, is already going to be able to take down Ustillo, so they won't have to worry about any clutch potential, as he's been the one that's been put in those situations almost every single round. Come from someone else this time around here as the Renegades start being dwindled down. Stewie actually took a decent amount of damage from that fight, though. He's down at 31 HP, so he's going to be a little bit more timid for the rest of this round. However, Cloud9 continuing to play it very slowly, just waiting for Renegades players to make mistakes, and they continue to do that. Now, as they're peeking back out from window, he's going to get killed, or excuse me, from a ladder room, and he's going to get taken down. Yeah, Cloud9 didn't have the best start to this half, but they were gifted that anti-eco round, and then, you know, now they're at 5 rounds. I'm pretty sure they would feel confident if the streak ended here, but it's not. It's going to be a 6-6 here with Cloud9 gaining that scary momentum that we've seen them run with before in T-side Mirage. So not looking good for Renegades right now. You know, not terrible play by Renegades either, in my opinion. I just, you know, I've seen a couple small tweaks. Other than that, they should stay confident and keep following their intuition, because they've been reading the game pretty well so far. Yeah, just unfortunately faltering in quite a few clutch scenarios here, as we've been seeing, but also coming out on top and a few others as well. So back and forth. Nifty trying to be sneaky and kill the player inside of the ladder room. Unsuccessful in doing that. Stewie's going to take him down, and then finds Naf in the A site as well. Just JKS left here now, and he is going to be back over there inside of Palace. So he'll stay safe, but he's not saving much. It's more so denying the money and keeping the armor alive for himself there, as they're going to be saving again in this round anyway. JKS with a couple pop flashes. Feels like a little A ramp push or a connector push. Those seem to be the popular ones from an A player having flashes. So we'll notice in a second. It looks like everyone coming A, so I wouldn't be surprised if they're all going connector. But, oh, nope, they're going to hide in the site, and this is where, you know, the CT's job essentially is to say when they're out to the Tetris area, and then JKS is going to throw the flashes. So, I don't know. It looks like Skadoodle is just getting escorted by Rush here. I don't think they're going to commit to A. I think Tyler's just looking for the pick here in jungle, and Rush's job is, yeah, exactly. He's just going to hold that push. Let's see where they take bomb. Looks like they are coming back to A, so it might be a split, but...
Inside here, we do see Rush picking up 2 kills, and now Skadoodle has to hold on his own. Dink to the face, but still gets the kill, and now on the run is there's one more player inside of there, and he's got an AK armed with himself too, so that's Azza. He'll back out to the site, though, as he's going to get ready to actually defend here. But with them fending off most of that Alice play, the rest of this is just going to be an easy cleanup. It's down to JKS again as the last man standing, and he'll go for a surprise swing. Takes down Stewie, at least with that, but now he's up against the wall. He actually did dink one more, so it brings Skadoodle down pretty low. But
first bullet.
Not enough to kill him, though.
So, another op in Nifty's hands. They've seen the fast mid control from Cloud9. They've seen the early A hit. I think, oh, look at that. It's not as quite as pretty as the other model here.
Heisenberg.
A little bit of Heisenberg on steroids. He looks like he's been working out, but also...
it was rough after the finale of Breaking Bad.
So another fast mid and another mid aggression from Renegades here.
And we're going to see Renegades moving up. They actually aren't even really detected this time either, but he still ends up just spamming through his teammate, and that messes him up big time as it just gives Stewie the double kill. Knocks out Ustillo and Azza, and already Renegades down to 3. So this aggressive style, unfortunately, continues to sometimes work and other times completely screw them over and put them into these disadvantaged situations. And once again, they're caught off by that Nifty. Missing the op shot gives the kill to Automatic.
Yeah, it's not a terrible idea for Nifty to try to go for a kill there with an op, but you got to know that when you get those kills mid at C9, all they're doing is holding the extremities, because the only way they could die is if the CTs make an aggressive play to even it up. Pretty standard protocol for a 3v5 situation there on the C9 side. Stewie looking to try to take a little bit money from Renegades, but he's going to die while he's hunting. And then, you know, Tarek and Rush already on the hunt. A little bit here, one in CT spawn and one in near T spawn near Rush. We'll see if they run into each other in a second. But at this point, Renegades is starting to look a little desperate on their CT side. So, you know, it seems like their most confident play is taking mid control early. So we'll see these last couple rounds, because you're not always going to get to stop the teams from taking mid control, and you need to have other ways to be comfortable, and that comes down to your rotations on the CT side, knowing how to use the money you have on CT, because there's many ways to play without an op, and it seems like Renegades is a little uncomfortable in that regards.
Yeah, so going into this final round, due to all those guns getting dropped, they're not going to end up with really the best spy at all, and we can see that there again, those guys kind of jumbling up and messing themselves up there, so Stewie's just allowed to get that double kill. But you can see the final buy for the Renegades before you here. A lot of umps, a lot of downgrades, and a lot of non-full utility purchases here. We do end up with 2 M4s, 2 umps, and a scout on Nifty will be their final buy on the CT side as they try to at least get a 7th round on the board to keep it close, moving over to their T side after this round. Tarek is actually caught by Naf, jumps right into the corner and right into his crosshairs. Naf almost dies in trying to fall back, though, but thankfully dodges his opponents. However, gets a little bit too...
Stillo, what are you doing?
He just ends up walking right into them. Azza,
oh no,
at least trades one from underpass, so it keeps it down to a 3v3, but that does also give Cloud9 easy control over the B-bomb site.
Was there even a nade thrown at A, Ustillo? You know, Stillo's a good guy. I've talked to him there. Don't want to throw him under the bus too hard, but the T's are running up catwalk, and you smoked upper B. Why would you believe that they weren't behind that smoke? You know, they're running up catwalk, so... Ustillo is someone who has so many flashes of really, you know, earlier I liked how he tried to clutch that, and I think he's got very good mechanics, and he seems like a decently smart player. In those situations, I'm just not sure if, you know, if it's info or if it's intuition. And if it's intuition, the problem I have with that is that not only was it wrong, it seemed so hasty. And Rush here very easily taking down
one of the last 2 players. That is going to close out the half, ladies and gentlemen, with Cloud9 bringing the comeback under their control. They take the lead 9-6 at the end of the first half. Stick with us to see if they can keep it that way, or if we'll have a comeback for the Renegades. Be right back, folks. Support here from the EPL.
ESL Pro League is brought to you in part by Intel, the City of Odense, GeForce GTX, Lenovo Legion, Bedway, Pay Safeguard, Logitech G, Mountain Dew League, Xfinity, and ESEA.
And welcome back once again, ladies and gentlemen, to the ESL Pro League. We're here in our third match of the evening as Cloud9 are taking on the Renegades here on Mirage. It was a good start for the Renegades, but unfortunately they lost their momentum big time as we got further and further into the half, and Cloud9 eventually took control with a 9-6 scoreline at the end of the first half. Now the big question is, what do we need to see Renegades doing on their T side in order to turn this back around?
Well, I'm curious to see if their game plan has more depth than their CT side. Their CT side seem to have two gears, mid-push or sit in the sights. Now, that's obviously oversimplifying what we saw, but I think they're up 5-0, right?
Yeah, it was 5-0 before we saw the first round.
So they won 1 out of the last 10 rounds. Not a good sign for their momentum going into T side, but we'll see if they have an answer.
These models are really interesting. This guy looks like a construction worker or something like that. Like,
He's
got like the tool belt and everything there. You notice that? Like he's got like the supports on him there too. Like he's ready to go off on like a high riser or something like that. So here comes the Renegades now as they're going to go for a quick execute outside towards A. There's actually zero presence here from Cloud9 as well. They're essentially playing full retake. Everyone is going to be way back over at CT spawn here. So they just let the Renegades walk right in, and it's going to be up to Cloud9 to fully retake this in 5v5, which should definitely be interesting. Stewie has a small angle to play with here on steps, and the T's also hold this very aggressive position behind the barrels here, which is very, very hit or miss from my experience in watching it. But right now, it seems like it's going to be a good hit. 2 quick kills for them. One of them does get traded, but Ustillo closes out in the final player. Stewie, however, finds his first re-entry coming back in from the step side of things, and Automatic is going to be able to take out that ticket player. Just 2 remain. Time has gone by very quickly, however, and it doesn't look like Cloud9 have a kit to play with. Not only that, but Naf is way over here. JKS swinging out. He's able to find Stewie. Really just wasting time here now. They'll take him down, but there's no time left to defuse the bomb. They even knock out Naf, too, but they pick up the kit way too late and are not able to defuse that bomb, so Renegades are going to take the round and have a very quick chance at a retake.
One thing that could have been done differently there, so you saw Skadoodle had the 2 flashes CT spawn. Well, ever since the update, what was it, about 6-8 months ago, you could hear when people pull the flash pin, no matter where the ground is you're on. So I think Tyler, he should have thrown that flash more from the window room vent deep, and they wouldn't have heard it coming, even though they would have left guys trading and fighting spawn there. I think they would have had a better chance of blinding the opponent, but you still, as you return, take him down. But now the force by blue, I'll let you take it away because there could be something exciting going on in a second. Yeah,
Cloud9 get very aggressive, and they actually go in and take underpass control. They're also going to have Skadoodle peeking back out. Nifty presented with a great opportunity to get both of those kills, but Skadoodle will come out on top of the duel. Rush also on top of the rafters here. Doesn't only get Ustillo, but then swings to Palace to find JKS too. Finally a trade from the Renegade side, but it might be too late. Only taking down Stewie here. It's still a 2v4 that they have to play off of. Naf as well trying to sneak in. He might have just been spotted, however, by the player ticket. And Dean, it seems that's the case. So he's going to be shot down to 29 HP. Does respond in kind, but a nade from Rush right over inside of the connector knocks out Naf, leaving only Azza to fight in 1v3 here. And he's been spotted now too, trying to cross Cat. Just a matter of time here. He'll jump back in, tag down to 9 HP. Tarek knows he's got him low, and he's even going to use the scout to close out. Cloud9 instantly trade out the lost pistol round and are once again in control of the matchup.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know where Nifty died there. I know a lot of times what they could have been thinking is you kind of like double scout either site, and the assumption is if you run into one with only one guy, you're going to get the trade, and then you'll kind of be able to rotate over and hold the site. Unfortunately, one guy took out 2 at A, and then Nifty died somewhere else, and that round collapses as fast as they won the previous. So C9 in a good position here to run away with this game.
Now it's all about Renegades trying to rebuild their economy here, as they're not going to aggressively rebuy into this round. The only one rifle they did have has actually already been dropped, and that was the Scout that Scudoodle now takes down. It'll get picked up again by Ustillo, but Cloud9 continuing to exercise really great control here. Asa, you can put down Scudoodle with another Scout kill. Asa really waiting for the peek, but instead he's going to get Stewie peeking him from outside of the connector. That knocks out Asa. Only 2 remaining here now, one of which has just been spotted, and he only has a Glock anyway, so that's an easy frag for Rush. Now the last one also goes down very quickly, making it a clean round for Cloud9. As Renegades still are not at the point where they can full buy here. Can only go for just upgraded pistols again if they want to look towards the first gun round with a strong buy.
Blue. The only thing that I think Renegades can maybe try to start doing is they need to establish a mid-control next gun round, and then I could see them coming back. If Renegades goes for something gimmicky next round, it's still not going to give me any more confidence they're going to win this game. And I think before they have a chance at doing something gimmicky, they need to establish some kind of map control. So I'm looking past this round, assuming they're going to lose, although you never know nowadays.
Well, there's the nade doing a decent amount of damage along the first kill, and that drops the bomb too, so rotate should pretty much be already here. Not that they're really going to be needed, as we do see all 4 to 5 players eliminated, just Nath remaining there, an automatic. Trying to jump kill it. It's taking him a moment. He's out of ammo on both guns now. He really wants the ace, and his teammates are doing the best chance of giving it to him, but he's got to be a little bit careful. He's not down to 15 HP. Rush is tired of waiting, though. He's going to move in and steal it from him, so denied the ace, unfortunately, but they do get a clean closeout.
Rush, you bastard.
You ace stealer.
Automatic here, just lining them up as they come through the smoke. It's like he didn't really have to even try. Well, I'm curious to see Renegades. It does look like they're kind of listening to me. They have a mid-control set up. Let's see how they decide to start it. Nifty, please don't dry peek window right here. I'll be very upset.
There's going to be presence on Cat for now, but yeah, he doesn't end up peeking out fully. Looks like they're going to delay this mid take a bit. They do have players in underpass ready to go for control too, so it looks like they're going to try to take everything in mid all at once they're set up to actually push it here.
This is interesting. We see C9 kind of banking on Renegades playing the gimmicky style that I was kind of alluding to, which is they're playing pretty close A. So now that Cloud9 has assumed mid control, which is going to happen right about now, that's going to force the CTs. You'll notice, see, look, they're either going to push a ramp right now, which they are, so they're clearing it, and then they have to fall back towards connector. So if Renegades did this right, I would like to see them actually end A, theoretically, because of the light cat pressure. But with the info we have, if they go A, they probably would lose.
At the moment, they even prop Azure up in connector too, but that could just be to watch. However, the bomb now rotating over towards ramp, so this is probably going to end up being an A hit. Cloud9 set up to stop this here now, so we'll see as the mollies from the CTs will have to fade away first before we see the full commit from Renegades. Renegades didn't really leave themselves with enough smokes or anything to line up here on this take. They are going to be relying on the shock value of the mid-connector split here, as they only have actually 2 smokes, and it looks like they're going to save them for post-plant too. 2 mollies as well, neither of them being used, but they walk right into jungle, getting that first kill against Rush. So they eliminate a very dangerous part of this. Automatic now trades from the trip stack, but it's a very short-lived trade as he goes down just after that one. Tarek actually with just a P250 finds another kill and Stewie the sandwich. This has to be the big play, but no, doesn't work out. He goes down. It's going to be Scudoodle instead. That wraps in, taking down Nifty and Tarek to finish the job. Finally peeking out from Ticket there, giving it to Cloud9.
Jeez, people forget about Sandwich more than a well-fed worker. They I don't understand how that happens, because I guess they kill one under balcony, kill one site, and fundamentally speaking, 2-on-2. I feel like I'm always terrified of Sandwich, though, ever since FNX used to play there every round and give me PTSD there. But Renegades actually listened. I liked in terms of what I think was a fundamentally sound call last round. They got mid control late. They saw one guy off cat. They had connector control. They did an ace, but I don't think it was a terrible call. They actually got the first entry. They just didn't clear all the spots, which forced them into a bad 2v2 where the CTs were able to pick them off. And now they're back to the execs.
Renegades are going to get ready to move out here now. They pretty quickly established themselves some control, and he still actually gets the first kill. Rush trades out 2 more from Ticket after that, though, so there goes the advantage. Cloud9 are going to let them plant since the shock value of these smokes are enough to get them into the site. They don't want to lose more players than they have to. This is still somewhat of a close match in terms of scoreline here, so they let it get too out of hand too quickly. break their own economy. This time, though, they're managing it quite well. As now armed with an M4, actually, he's going to hold from Sandwich, but quickly moves positions to Tetris here now. So has to get a couple of his CTs into the open, and it works well. He gets another kill. Now Nifty being drawn to the edge, he's going to be forced out. And while it was close, they did bring it down to 2 players on Cloud, and they weren't able to close out once they made it even again.
Good read by Skadoodle there to know that he has the default bomb box as coverage there. He pushes up and allows Tarek to hold from the back. See, Tarek was the guy with low HP right here, so Rush gets a couple kills, starts out the round, but in the end, I think Skadoodle helped him close that round, because if he doesn't run up there, there's a chance that the guy in the back gets killed. Tarek, Skadoodle's then stuck in a tough 1v2, and time could run out. But not a bad round for Renegades, though, as they get enough money to have pretty much everything they need for this round, but they're going to go straight into an A-hit, and I don't, you know, maybe they'll win this round, but I don't see the half playing out too much for them if they can't win a cleaner default round.
Yeah, this is essentially going to be it right here. This is their last full investment if they drop this one. They obviously can still rebuy and force into it, but it's not going to be that great of a buy. Tarek already shutting down one. Rush sneaking into this corner, 2. Gets one from the bottom of Tetris and even spams in to find another. There's a small hole in the smoke. He even escapes. Doesn't get traded. And Renegades are stuck. They don't even want to try to push through that smoke. Trade is now they're at 2v5, and there are only 2 players left are at 52 and 14 HP because of the spam from Rush before. So they've been essentially put into the worst situation possible on the most important round of the game that essentially would decide if they could still run a comeback or if Cloud9 would shut it down. And Cloud9 may have already decided it for them with the play they just made there at ramp.
You know, one thing, again, the Renegades, it seems like a common theme for me. Every time I watch them play and do an analysis on them, they have a lot of good ideas. Going into 3A smokes is never bad, right? It's always a pretty good last-ditch effort to get a bomb plant and to get a good chance at trades. If you're going to throw smokes over, though, early in the round, there's 2 things you need to consider. 1, that the CTs have smoked ramp, so you can be running through a smoke. Or 2, if they haven't smoked it, that there's an opper far, but if a smoke does pop, you need to run through and trade together. Ustillo was way ahead of his teammates, or was it JKS? It was one of them. It might have been JKS. And, you know, if you're going to run through a smoke like that, you got to make sure your boys are right behind you, because the play itself was already forcing the issue. And Rush at A-ramp showing a lot of poise here.
Was Ustillo that was up front there, it looks like?
Yeah, it was Ustillo. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Rush able to get 2, and basically GG at that point.
And so now Renegades will go into what could be their last buy here. It's actually not too bad. They managed to get 4 AKs. It's Nifty that has to downgrade the most over towards a scout, but everybody ends up with full utility, full armor as well, so basically armed to the teeth here. And it's just about Cloud9 trying to basically close out. Now they have double ops and everything too. Stewie's going to once again hold up close. Rush did it last round, and now Stewie's going to take a crack at it. See if they can quickly shut down any resistance that Renegades would have on this run, but they're going to position their players a lot differently here too. They're going to send most of their guys over to the outskirts of the B halls and just have JKS hold a ramp in the event Cloud9 tries to aggressively push it again. And oh no, the molly hits him, so it does force him into the smoke. He'll spam back just to be safe, but thankfully Cloud9 gave up that aggressive position, so they're not going to be immediately available to take him down.
This isn't looking too good for Renegades. They don't have map control and they've mid control, and they've taken damage on the extremities and missed a window smoked.
Scott's able to get this first kill, looking for more here too. He's got to be a little bit careful, the player beneath him, but Azar unfortunately whiffing there on the initial spray. It doesn't get a single point of damage against him. It's really struggling to kill this one guy at the back of the top boxes. Automatically going off on top of the fencing there too, but he's actually going to get himself away. A little bit messy here in mid. They're holding the control for right now. Tarek looking for something with the op, but Skadoodle's actually going to steal it from him there, taking down Naf, the front of Cat. One did manage to sleuth away right outside of Connector, but one of the last guys, the one holding the bomb too, he's going to go down up on top. Just JKS, who finally kills Tarek, but is now alone in a 1v3. He only has 30 seconds to plant, and in a second, Stewie's going to walk up right behind him and take him down. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Cloud9 will establish that dominant control and take the first map here, as they're able to take control over Mirage and win the first map here 1-0.
Another one of those situations where I watch Renegades. I want them to work on the things that aren't polarizing. I want them to work on the basics, holding a default fundamental setup on CT. You don't need to sit in your spots all around, work on rotations, that kind of thing. But it seems like the only time I see them winning rounds is when AZAR or JKS are doing something wild on CT, and then on T side they're doing some fast execs or something. So I would like to see some more fundamentals out of the guys in Renegades.
All right, we'll have to see about that on the second map. The first map is done, however, and we have the analysts standing by to break it down. Gentlemen, take it away.
Appreciate it, fellas. Great job, Jordan. You did great over there. Oh, yeah, you too, Blue. All right, so anyway, when we get into this one, though, guys, where do we even want to start here? Because it seemed a little bit more one-sided.
It seemed like it started one-sided towards RNG. It was 5-0, right?
Yep.
And then C9 win with like a pistol half buy. I think I saw Ustilo walk pushing upper B like 4 times at half, only to get earholed by the B defaulter. Like, it was like, what are you doing, dude? Just stop. Like, we're talking about Jordan saying, like, just hold your spot and learn how to rotate correctly based on, like, common things that could happen if the T's are taking mid control. It's just kind of like, hey, this is a map that's been here for, like, 10 years. You should probably understand how to play it at this point in time.
And that's what Jordan was talking about, just fundamentals, right? Like, just simple stuff like that, just flowchart decision making. And for C9, I think, like, on their T side is exactly what I expected, at least, was a lot of defaults, a lot of mid control, and automatic getting away with his lurks on Cat.
Well, we're going to take a look at our first replay we have loaded up. We've got round number 6 here, a C9 pistol half buy.
Yeah, so this is the first round of the match that they win, and it puts Renegades on an eco round, right? So it's just disheartening that it had to come from a pistol half buy, right? Like, whenever I know that the other team's not going to be on full guns, I say don't rubberneck in mid too much. If you are going to take mid, take it with force, right? Push 2 people top mid. Have somebody holding underpass, have your guys at B and A staying alive using their nades liberally in the mid round, right? Or the early round, right? So that if they are going to get pushed, the T's have taken damage. And it just seems like why are you peeking mid so much when you know they have pistols? If you're going to do it all together and do it all in one spot. So it's just kind of weird gameplay coming out here. It's almost like Renegades want to play weird so that C9 can't predict it. Like, I don't know why they decided to do that.
Just being different sometimes.
Yeah, like, I've heard people say, like, hey, let's play weird, right? So, like, maybe we can catch them off guard. It's like, well, after 6 rounds, they're probably going to realize that you're doing that, so you should probably stop.
So how can they know what we're doing if we don't know what we're doing? I think that's the go-to strat.
If I can't see them, they can't see me.
Right, yeah, absolutely.
So if I throw a flash in front of myself, then everyone on the whole map is flashed, right?
Yes.
Okay.
It's the little things, guys.
Just wanted to...
It makes sense, and that was it right there. More importantly, what makes sense is a round number 11 here is the next replay we have loaded up. T-side default from C9.
I think this is just a good example to kind of explain how the half went for Cloud9, and they do a lot of T defaults where they try not to use too many grenades, but they take mid, and this is such a nice peek on Nifty, who holds his angles as tight as possible, but automatic knows that peek like the back of his hand, and then lurks his way into ladder room after knowing that with the op there, they put a lot of stock in Nifty to first of all stay alive, but also probably get a kill, and that gives him a lot of freedom of movement. So him getting into ladder room was really beneficial, and then we see him trade out window, which is what the benefit is of taking this map control.
Yeah, as soon as you can get a T into ladder room, you kind of cut the rotates, right? Like, that's one of the things, right? You don't necessarily even have to get a kill by getting a guy into ladder room, right? Just getting somebody into ladder room can open up A or B site, right? If you can cause the CTs to kind of fluctuate towards B or A, then you can use the guy in ladder room to kill those guys rotating back to the eventual site that you hit.
A thorn in the side.
Yeah. And I think he knows that. I think he knows that ladder room peak more than the back of his hand. I think he knows it like his whole hand, right? It's not just the back of his hand that he knows.
Oh, yeah.
The whole hand.
Yeah.
Nothing but the hand. So help me hand. Kidding, my hand helps me enough. Anyway, looking at this, guys, though, with that win, we see Cloud9 move ahead of the Renegades in the standings. So there was a lot of implications in that match in terms of what would happen. As we do know, the playoff race is getting kind of underway now, I believe, is the most accurate and appropriate way to put it. That does it for Mirage. We're going to be going into Cobble. So just real quickly here, how are we feeling about these two teams on Cobble?
I think both teams can play Cobble, but I think that the Cloud9, I think, have like the lowest win rate of Cobble of any of their maps, just by a slight margin. So I think they're going to be comfortable playing it. I don't know how you feel about them.
They've shown up on it, and they've done a lot of development. It just depends on how many strats we're going to see coming out today, right? Like, I would be sure that Renegades probably looked at them playing it in the past, how they beat G2 and the fashion that they did it. And they might be able to counter it, right? This is Renegades' map that they have pride in. They like to win this map, and they usually do win this map, even against teams that are on paper better. So I think it could be close, right? Because on paper, C9's arguably the better team, but this is Renegades' map. So.
Yeah.
Well, certainly a lot of work could be here for Cloud9, who, you know, for all intents and purposes, need this map to sort of help them as they continue to go on into the later part of the season. But anyway, we're going to get more into Cobble, but not before we go to a quick break. We'll be right back here at the Intel Esports Arena, so make sure you don't go anywhere.